I never thought I'd be the kind of man who had to deal with something like this. I wasn't weak. I wasn't soft. I was a man who handled things. I built myself from the ground up. Muscle, discipline, dominance. I commanded respect everywhere I went. The kind of respect that came from knowing I was the most dangerous man in any room. Other men knew it. Women felt it. My woman, my wife, should have known it better than anyone. I gave her everything. A good home, security, passion. I worked hard, made money, protected what was mine, and she loved it. At least I thought she did. The way she looked at me when I pulled her close, the way she melted when I took what was mine, the way she begged for more. But that night told me everything I needed to know. I got home earlier than usual. The air was thick when I stepped inside, a strange scent filling my house, something foreign, something wrong. Sweat, cologne that wasn't mine, a tension in the air that put my instincts on edge. Then I saw them. She was sitting on his lap, my woman, my wife, wearing nothing but a silk robe draped across some BCE who had the fucking nerve to sit in my house, on my couch, touching what belonged to me. She didn't jump up, didn't panic. No, she looked at me with a smirk, like she had planned this, like she wanted me to see. "I've opened our marriage," she said, her voice calm, playful. "I invited Jamar over for a date. Do you want to watch us? When we're done, I'll make love to you. Deal?" My world went red. Jamar barely had time to react before my hands were on him. I grabbed the Binolawan by the throat, ripped him off my couch, and sent him flying through the fucking air. He hit the floor hard, scrambling like a roach when the lights come on. My wife let out a sharp gasp and bolted. She knew what was coming, knew what kind of man she had married. She ran straight to the bathroom, slamming the door shut, locking herself away like that was going to save her. But she wasn't my priority right now. Jamar was crawling toward the door, wheezing, coughing, trying to escape. I caught him by the collar and yanked him back, dragging his sorry Aya toward the front door. "You got fucking guts," I growled, hauling him up and throwing him straight through the open doorway. He landed in the yard, rolling like a rag doll, groaning. I stepped out after him, cracking my knuckles. Inside, I heard my wife fumbling in the bathroom, maybe calling the cops, maybe praying. Didn't matter. Jamar wasn't leaving my house in one piece. I met Olivia 12 years ago. She was young, beautiful, too damn beautiful, bright-eyed, full of life. I was already who I am now, a man who took what he wanted, a man who built himself from blood, sweat, and iron. I wasn't some a-hole born into money. I clawed my way up from the bottom, built my body, built my wealth, built my reputation. I was the kind of man other men feared and women craved. And Olivia? She was drawn to that. She wanted a protector, a provider, someone who would keep her safe, give her a life no other man could. And I did. I gave her a home, gave her my name, gave her children. 2 boys, Ethan and Caleb. My fucking pride, my blood. I taught them strength, discipline, how to stand tall in a world that eats weak men alive. They looked up to me. They wanted to be like me. And Olivia, she was a good mother. At least I thought she was. Until now. Now I had to wonder, how long had this been going on? How long had this woman, the mother of my children, been playing house with another man in my home? The thought made my blood boil hotter. Jamar was trying to get up. I walked toward him slowly, deliberately. He was clutching his ribs, his face contorted in pain. "Get the fucks out of here, man," he wheezed. "This ain't even—" I didn't let him finish. My fist met his jaw with a sickening crack, and he collapsed like a fucking house of cards. "You walk into my house," I growled, grabbing him by the shirt, lifting him like he weighed nothing. "Sit on my couch, put your filthy fucking hands on my wife, and you think I'm gonna let you walk away?" He didn't answer. He was too busy choking on his own spit. I hit him again, harder, felt his teeth shift under my knuckles. This wasn't just about fucking, this was about respect. This was about a man walking into my kingdom and spitting on my throne. I grabbed him by the back of the neck and dragged him to the sidewalk, throwing him down like trash. You ever come back here? You ever even breathe near my wife again? I leaned down, my voice calm, deadly. I won't stop. Jamar nodded weakly, his face swollen, his mouth leaking blood. He tried to crawl away, one arm cradling his ribs. Pathetic. I turned back toward the house, toward the woman who thought she could humiliate me. The front door was still open. The house was silent. I knew where she was. I stepped inside, my boots heavy on the floor, walked down the hall, stood outside the bathroom door. She hadn't moved. She was still in there, hiding like a scared little girl. I could hear her breathing, fast, panicked. Good. I pressed my palm flat against the door. Open it, I said. Silence. I knocked hard enough to rattle the wood. Open the fucking door, Olivia. Nothing. I exhaled slowly. She wanted to play games? Fine. I took a step back, planted my boot against the door, and kicked. The lock snapped instantly. The door flew open, slamming against the wall. And there she was, backed into the corner, trembling, her eyes wide with fear. Now we were going to have a fucking conversation. She flinched when I stepped inside, pressing herself against the tiled wall like it could swallow her whole. Her silk robe was loose now, barely covering her, her hair a mess from the way she had run. Good. Let her be afraid. She should be. I stood there for a moment just looking at her. She was breathing too fast, her chest rising and falling, her lips parted like she wanted to say something but didn't dare. You thought I wouldn't do anything, I said, my voice low. Did you really think I'd walk in, see you with that piece of sot, and just take it? She swallowed hard, her hands gripping the edge of the sink. Then suddenly she laughed, a short, sharp, broken little sound. I knew you'd do something, she whispered. I just didn't care. My fingers curled into fists, my whole body tensed. I had expected excuses, apologies, lies. Not this. Not the way she looked at me now, like she wanted me to hurt. I took a slow step toward her. She didn't move. Explain, I said. She lifted her chin, her eyes still wild, filled with something I couldn't place. Hate, madness, satisfaction. You don't get it, do you? She breathed. You think you're the king of this house, the big strong man everyone's supposed to bow to, but you don't see it, do you? The way I have to live, the way you make me live. I stared at her. And how's that, Olivia? Like I'm nothing, she snapped, her voice shaking. Like I'm just a fing accessory in your perfect little kingdom. You control everything, the money, the house, the kids. Mister, and you expect me to just be here, waiting for you, forever. You think because you've me good and pay the bills I should worship you? She let out a bitter laugh, shaking her head. I wanted to feel like a woman again, not just your possession. Something inside me went ice cold. I had given her everything. And this was how she repaid me. You wanted to feel like a woman, I repeated slowly. So you let another man touch what's mine. She smiled now, a cruel, reckless smile. I didn't just let him, she whispered. I wanted him. I moaned for him. I came for him. And I made sure the sheets smelled like him before you got home. The world turned red again. The bathroom mirror shattered. I barely registered my own hand slamming into it, the glass exploding, shards raining down onto the counter, into the sink, onto the floor. My knuckles stung, but I didn't care. She gasped, her body jerking against the wall, but I wasn't looking at her anymore. I was looking at myself, at my reflection in the broken mirror. Something inside me was breaking too. She had done this on purpose. This wasn't just cheating. This was war, and she thought she'd win. I turned back to her slowly, my breathing even now, controlled. Her lips parted like she realized she might have pushed too far. Good. I leaned in, placing my hands on either side of the counter, caging her in. My voice was almost gentle when I spoke. You want freedom, Olivia? She nodded just once, her throat bobbing as she swallowed. Good, I murmured. You're about to get more than you ever fucking wanted. And with that, I turned and walked out of the bathroom, out of the house. Because if she wanted to destroy our family, I was about to show her what real destruction looked like. I drove through the city with a mind sharper than a blade. My hands gripped the wheel, knuckles white, blood still drying from where I'd shattered the mirror. She thought she was clever, thought she was in control. She had no fucking idea who she had just declared war on. This wasn't about love anymore. This wasn't about pain. This was about power, and I was about to take every ounce of it back. I pulled into a parking lot, my mind already 10 steps ahead. Olivia wanted freedom. She wanted out. She thought she could humiliate me, strip me of my pride, and walk away untouched. She was about to lose everything. The first call I made was to my lawyer, a ruthless, cutthroat bonk I kept on retainer for moments just like this. David, I need you to file for divorce, today. A pause, then, understood, standard assets split, or, she gets nothing. Another pause, then a slow chuckle. I'll make sure of it. I hung up. Olivia didn't know, but every single thing in our life, the house, the bank accounts, even the car she drove, was in my name. She had no job, no savings, no plan. She had spent the last 10 years living comfortably in the kingdom I built, thinking she could spit in my face and still sleep under my roof. Not anymore. The second call I made was to my private investigator. I wanted details, every single one. How long this had been going on, who else she had been fucking, what little secrets she had been keeping while she played house with me. Find me everything, I told him. He promised he would. And then I made the third call, to my sons. Caleb picked up first. Dad? Where are you? At practice. Is everything okay? I exhaled slowly, steadying my voice. Listen to me carefully. I need you and Ethan to come straight to me after school. Don't go home. Don't talk to your mother. Understand? A pause. Then, yeah, got it. Good. I wasn't going to let Olivia poison my boys. She wanted to fuck another man? Fine, but she wasn't going to keep our children. By the time I hung up, the storm inside me had settled into something colder, sharper. Olivia thought she had burned me to the ground. She didn't realize I was the fucking fire. I got home late that night, not because I was avoiding her. No, I wanted her to sit in that house, in the wreckage she created, and feel the weight of what she had done. When I walked through the door, she was waiting, sitting on the couch, legs crossed, a half-empty wine glass in her hand. Her eyes locked onto me the second I stepped inside. Where have you been? She asked, her voice smooth, controlled, like she thought she still had some kind of upper hand. I shut the door behind me and looked around. The place was clean. The broken mirror in the bathroom had been swept up. The air smelled of lavender candles, like she was trying to cover up the rot of her betrayal. I let my gaze settle back on her. Out. A flicker of something crossed her face. Worry, doubt. Good. She took a slow sip of wine. Are we going to talk about this? There's nothing to talk about. She blinked. That wasn't the answer she expected. I walked past her toward the kitchen, grabbed a glass, poured myself some water. Behind me, she stood up. Her bare feet were silent on the hardwood floor as she walked toward me. When I turned around, she was closer, close enough that I could smell the perfume she had put on, like she thought she could seduce her way out of this. I'm sorry, she murmured. I stared at her. She stepped even closer, placing a hand on my chest. I made a mistake, but we can move past this. I let her touch me, let her think for 1 second that she had control. Then I set my glass down. You're right, I said. We can move past this. She smiled, relief flashing across her face, and that's when I dropped the fucking bomb. I filed for divorce this morning. The color drained from her face instantly. I stepped back, watching as the reality hit her like a brick wall. You, her voice wavered. You're serious? As a heart attack. She inhaled sharply, trying to regain her composure. You can't just. I already did. She blinked rapidly, her hands clenching. You can't take everything from me. I smiled. Watch me. And then I leaned in, just enough that my lips almost brushed her ear. Oh, and one more thing. My voice was barely a whisper now. The kids, they're staying with me. They want nothing to do with you. Her entire body stiffened, her breath hitched, and for the first time tonight I saw it. Real, raw, unfiltered fear. She had played her game, thought she was holding the cards. She didn't realize I had stacked the fucking deck. I stepped back, watching her crumble, her lips parting like she wanted to scream. I picked up my glass again, taking a slow sip. Freedom, Olivia. I smirked. Enjoy it. She just stood there, trembling. The confidence she had earlier, that smug defiance, was gone. Now she looked like a woman who had just realized she'd stepped off a cliff with no parachute. I let her sink into it, let her feel the weight of what she'd done. Then she did what I expected, what weak people always do when they realize they fuppied up. She started scrambling. You can't do this, she hissed, stepping toward me like she thought she could intimidate me. You think you're just going to take everything and walk away? I laughed, slow and dark. I don't think. I know. Her eyes flashed, and she tried to grab my arm, nails digging in. The kids won't just go with you. They need me. Need you? I repeated, my voice dripping with mockery. You mean the way you needed Jamar? She flinched like I had slapped her. Then her face twisted with something uglier. You did this to me, she spat. You made me feel like nothing. You pushed me to it. I tilted my head. I pushed you? Yes, she snapped. You controlled everything. You treated me like property, like I was just some trophy on your shelf. I needed to feel alive again. I smirked. And how's that working out for you? Silence. Her breathing was uneven now. She was breaking, and I fucking loved it. You should have just forgiven me, she whispered, eyes pleading now. We could have worked through this. I exhaled, shaking my head. You never respected me, Olivia. You thought you could walk all over me, humiliate me, and I'd still be here, waiting like some obedient little bahaka. I stepped forward, towering over her. But I don't wait, I don't beg, and I don't forgive. Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't care. She wasn't crying for me. She was crying for herself. Good. I turned away, heading toward the bedroom. Where are you going? She choked out. Packing, I said simply. The boys and I are leaving in the morning. She was shaking her head, gripping her temples like she was trying to wake up from a nightmare. You're serious? I didn't answer. She ran after me, grabbing my arm again. You can't take my sons from me. I turned to her slowly, my patience razor thin. They're not your sons anymore, Olivia. She gasped. I leaned in, voice low, dangerous. I spoke to them. They know what you did. They want nothing to do with you. Her knees almost buckled. You're lying, she whispered. Am I? I smirked, pulling out my phone. Want to hear the voicemail Ethan left me? I pressed play. Ethan's voice came through, clear as day. Dad, I don't want to see Mom again, ever. She ruined everything. Please just take us with you. We don't need her. The sound of my son's voice shattered something in her. She let out a strangled sob, covering her mouth. No, he didn't mean that. I put my phone away. This is the future you chose, Olivia. Her hands were shaking, her breathing was ragged, and for the first time since this all started, I saw it. Pure, undiluted regret. But it was too fucking late. You wanted freedom? I said, my voice cold. Well, now you have it. Then I walked past her into the bedroom and slammed the door shut. Tomorrow I would leave, and Olivia would finally understand what it meant to lose everything. The morning was quiet, too quiet. I stood in the doorway of my son's room, watching them pack. They didn't say much, just moved with the same quiet fury that burned in my chest. Caleb zipped up his duffel bag, his jaw clenched so tight it looked like it might break. Ethan was stuffing clothes into a backpack, his movements stiff, robotic. They were angry, hurt, but they had made their choice, and so had I. I turned and walked back to the master bedroom, grabbing the last of my things, my wallet, my watch, my keys. I glanced at the bed, our bed, where Olivia had spread herself out for another man. Disgust curled in my stomach. She had thrown it all away. And for what? A thrill, a few nights of feeling alive. Weak. I stepped out into the hall and saw her standing by the stairs. She looked different, worn down, broken, dark circles under her eyes, hair a mess like she hadn't slept at all. Good. She swallowed hard when she saw me. So that's it? Her voice was hoarse. You're really just leaving? I walked past her. We're leaving. Her fingers curled into fists. You can't take them from me. I turned, meeting her gaze. I already did. Tears welled in her eyes, but she fought them. I'm their mother. I scoffed. You stopped being their mother the moment you spread your legs for another man. She gasped, flinching like I had struck her. I leaned in, my voice calm even. Do you know what Ethan said last night? She didn't answer. I smirked. He said he never wants to see you again. A choked sob slipped from her lips. Good. She deserved every second of this. I turned away and walked down the stairs. My boys were waiting by the door, bags slung over their shoulders. They didn't even look at their mother. She let out a desperate breath. Ethan, Caleb, please. Neither of them turned around. I opened the door. The morning air was crisp, the sun rising over the horizon. A new day, a new start. As I stepped outside, I looked back at Olivia one last time. She stood there, trembling, eyes red, lips quivering. She had wanted freedom. Now she had it. I gave her a slow, satisfied smile. Enjoy it, Olivia. Then I walked out, and I never looked back.